At 3:12 in the morning, Elias found a photograph of himself sleeping. It had been taken 6 minutes in the future. He had rented the cabin because it looked ordinary. That was important to him. He had spent 3 weeks driving between cities for work, sleeping in hotels where every hallway smelled the same. The cabin was supposed to be one quiet night before the final trip home. The listing showed a small bedroom, a narrow kitchen, and a living room facing the woods. No decorative antlers, no antique dolls, no ominous reviews. The host, Martin, had sent the door code automatically. "Welcome, Elias. Everything you need is inside." The property looked exactly like the photographs. Almost. The bedroom wardrobe was missing from the listing. It stood opposite the bed, tall enough to touch the ceiling, with 2 dark wooden doors and a brass keyhole. A short chain had been wrapped through the handles and secured with a small padlock. Elias messaged Martin. "Is the wardrobe off limits?" The reply came less than a minute later. "Owner storage. Nothing interesting, unfortunately." That explanation satisfied him. He ordered food, watched half a movie, and went to bed shortly before midnight. At 1:46, his phone vibrated on the nightstand. He expected another automated message from the host. Instead, the rental app displayed a notification. "The host has updated this listing." Elias opened it. Nothing looked different until he reached the bedroom photographs. There were now 7. Earlier, there had been 6. The new image showed the bedroom at night. The curtains were closed. The lamp beside the bed was on. Elias's open suitcase lay on the floor. He was not visible. The photograph had been taken from the upper corner of the room. His first thought was a security camera. He got out of bed and searched the walls, the smoke detector, and the vents. He used his phone flashlight, checking for glass reflections. He found nothing. Then he compared the listing photograph with the actual room. The angle was too high. The ceiling corner shown in the image was occupied by a wooden support beam. There was nowhere to mount a camera. He sent the host a screenshot. "Where was this picture taken from?" Martin did not respond. Elias called the platform's support line. The representative asked him to remain outside while she contacted the host. "Outside the property?" Elias asked. "If you feel unsafe." "I don't know if I feel unsafe. I want to know whether there's a camera in the bedroom." The representative placed him on hold. While waiting, Elias noticed something else. The photograph had not been taken from the corner. The perspective only looked that way because the room was visible in a mirror attached to the inside of the wardrobe door. The camera had been inside the locked wardrobe. He crossed the bedroom slowly. The chain was still tight. Dust covered the padlock. There were no fingerprints or recent scratches around the keyhole. The support representative returned. "The host says he uploaded several photographs earlier today. This photograph has my suitcase in it." Silence. "Are you certain?" "I'm looking at the suitcase right now." She asked him to send the screenshot. When he did, she became quiet again. "Sir, I'm only seeing 6 bedroom photographs. There are 7. Could you refresh the page?" He did. The 7th photograph remained. The representative could not see it. She advised him to leave and offered to relocate him to a motel 20 miles away. Elias started packing. Then the app refreshed again. There were 8 bedroom photographs. The new image showed Elias standing beside the bed with his phone against his ear. It had been taken from inside the wardrobe. He turned toward it. The doors remained chained. "Someone is watching me right now," he told the representative. She contacted local police. The nearest deputy was 35 minutes away. Elias carried his bags into the living room and waited beside the front door. He kept the bedroom visible from where he stood. Nothing moved. By 2:30, he had convinced himself there was a technical explanation.
Perhaps the photographs had been uploaded by a previous guest. Perhaps the app was displaying cached images. Maybe the suitcase simply resembled his. Then he enlarged the 8th photograph. On the nightstand was the motel address the support representative had written in the chat. That message had been sent less than a minute before the photograph appeared. Elias stopped waiting for the deputy. He entered the door code. The lock flashed red. He tried again. Red. On his third attempt, the keypad displayed a message he had never seen before. "Checkout not available." He told the representative the door would not open. She remotely contacted the smart lock provider. Their system showed the door was already unlocked. Elias pulled harder. The deadbolt did not move. A sound came from the bedroom. Not a knock. A soft metallic click. The wardrobe chain had loosened. Elias watched one end slide down the wooden door. The padlock remained closed. The chain fell onto the floor. He backed against the front entrance. The wardrobe doors did not open. For almost 10 seconds, nothing happened. Then his phone vibrated. "The host has updated this listing. 9 bedroom photographs. The newest showed Elias asleep beneath the blankets. The wardrobe doors were open behind him." The timestamp displayed beneath the image was 3:18 a.m. It was 3:12. Elias stared at the photograph until he understood what it meant. Whatever was creating the images did not only watch the room, it expected him to return to the bed. He had 6 minutes to prove it wrong. The bedroom window was narrow, but it opened far enough for him to climb through. He left his larger suitcase behind, pushed the screen out, and dropped into the wet grass. His rental car started immediately. At 3:16, he was already driving down the access road. The front door of the cabin never opened. Relief came slowly. First, he reached the main road. Then he saw another vehicle. Then the support representative confirmed that a deputy had arrived at the property. At 3:18, his phone vibrated again. Elias pulled onto the shoulder. The listing contained a 10th bedroom photograph. The bed was empty. The blankets were undisturbed. The wardrobe stood open. For the first time, the photograph had been taken from beside the bed, looking into the wardrobe. There was nothing inside. Elias laughed. It sounded more frightened than he expected, but it was still laughter. The photograph had been wrong. He had changed what was supposed to happen. The deputy searched the cabin and found no cameras, no secondary entrance, and no one hiding inside. The host claimed the photographs had never appeared on his version of the listing. The platform removed the property, while its security team examined Elias's account. 3 days later, they sent him the results. The strange photographs had not been uploaded by the host. They had been uploaded through Elias's own guest profile. The security team found no evidence that his password had been stolen. There were no unfamiliar devices and no remote logins. All 4 uploads had been scheduled 11 months earlier. Elias had created his account 8 months earlier. He called the investigator whose name appeared at the bottom of the report. "That is impossible," he said. "I know. Then someone altered the timestamps." "We checked that.
Someone created a fake account. We checked that too. Elias waited. The investigator took a breath. There is one detail we left out of the written report. What detail? The first scheduled upload wasn't the picture of your suitcase. Elias opened the audit file again. The investigator told him to scroll to the oldest entry. It was dated 11 months before his stay. There was no photograph attached, only a file name. Wardrobe_occupant_checkout_01. Occupant? Elias whispered. The investigator did not answer immediately. Then she said, according to the system, that photograph is still waiting to be taken.
The photograph was older than either of them. Mara found it inside the bedside table on the second evening of their stay. It was a small, square print with faded edges, the kind that used to develop minutes after being taken. The colors had yellowed. A white line crossed one corner where the surface had cracked. The image showed a couple standing on the rental's front porch. Mara recognized the porch first, then Jonah's jacket, then her own face. Neither of them spoke for several seconds. Jonah finally laughed. That's a very good prank. Mara turned the photograph over. Someone had written a date on the back. October 14th, 1998. Mara had been born in 2000. Jonah had been born in 1999. They had arrived at the rental that morning. The photograph showed them wearing the same clothes. Jonah took it to the kitchen and examined it under the brighter light.
It's printed recently, he said. It has to be. It smells old. People fake that. Why? For a reaction. Maybe there's a camera. Mara looked around the kitchen. That possibility should have frightened her. Instead, it helped. A camera meant a person. A person meant an explanation. They searched the house together. They found no recording equipment, but behind a row of cookbooks, they discovered a box of other photographs. Every picture showed the rental. Different seasons, different furniture, different guests. Some photographs had dates from the 70s and 80s. Others had no dates at all. Mara and Jonah appeared in 6 of them. In one, they were sitting beside the fireplace. In another, Mara was carrying groceries into the kitchen.
A third showed Jonah asleep on the living room couch. The furniture changed around them. Their faces did not. Jonah stopped joking. They contacted the host. Her name was Ruth. She answered on the 4th ring and sounded genuinely confused. There shouldn't be any photographs in that house, she said. There's a whole box. Where? Behind the cookbooks. The line became quiet. Could you put them back? Mara looked at Jonah. Why? They belong to the property owner. We thought you were the owner. I managed the booking. Who owns it? Ruth ended the call. 10 minutes later, the listing updated. A new section appeared beneath the professional photographs. Recent guest photos. The first image was the old photograph of Mara and Jonah standing on the porch. Beneath it were their account names. Uploaded by Mara and Jonah. Mara refreshed the page. The photograph remained. Jonah checked his account history. There were no uploads. He tried to delete the image. The app asked him why he wanted to remove a photograph posted during a previous stay. Previous stay, he said. He tapped the words. A booking receipt opened. The reservation was dated October 1998. It listed their current phone numbers and current email addresses.
The total had been charged to a credit card Jonah opened the previous year. "This is corrupted data," he said. Mara no longer believed that, but she allowed him to say it. They packed their bags. Before leaving, Mara returned the photographs to the box. One of them had changed. The picture of Jonah sleeping on the couch now showed Mara sitting beside him. She was looking directly at the camera. A handwritten message covered the bottom border. "Not yet." Mara dropped it. Jonah picked it up. "What?" She pointed at the writing. He frowned. "There's nothing there." The words were visible only when Mara held the photograph. They tested the others. Several contained messages that changed depending on which of them touched the surface. Jonah saw, "Ask about the anniversary." Mara saw, "Do not let him drive." Neither told the other immediately. That silence lasted until they reached the front entrance. Jonah picked up the car keys. Mara held out her hand. "I'll drive." "You hate driving at night." "Give me the keys." "Why?" She could not explain without sounding irrational. His expression changed. "What did your photograph say?" Mara looked at him. "What did yours say?" The question divided them faster than the photographs had. Jonah believed the messages were designed to make them suspicious of each other. Mara believed refusing to compare them was exactly what the messages wanted. They argued beside the locked door until the listing updated again. A second recent guest photograph appeared. It showed the living room. Mara stood near the fireplace, pointing toward the door. Jonah stood beside the couch with his hands raised. It had been taken less than a minute earlier. Neither of them had seen a camera. Beneath the photograph was a 5-star review. "Beautiful property. We always forget how much we love returning." The review had been posted from their shared account. 11 years earlier. Jonah stopped arguing. They called platform support from separate phones. Mara reached a representative first. The woman verified their reservation and asked why they wanted to leave early. "The photographs," Mara said. "The previous bookings." "What previous bookings?" "The one in 1998, the reviews from our account." "I don't see a booking in 1998. Mara exhaled. "Good." The representative continued. "I see stays in 2015, 2016, 2018, 2019, 2021, and 2024. Mara sat on the floor. "That's not possible." "Were those reservations unauthorized?" Jonah lowered his own phone. His representative had given him the same dates. They asked for copies of the receipts. Each reservation listed the same property. Every stay lasted 2 nights. Every stay ended early. Every stay included a complaint about old photographs found behind the cookbooks. The support representative read from the 2024 case notes. Guests appeared distressed and claimed they had no memory of previous reservations. Mara looked toward the kitchen. The box was visible between the cookbooks where she had returned it. "What happened after we left?" she asked. The case was closed. Why? There was no evidence of account compromise. What did we say? The representative hesitated. "There is an audio recording attached. Play it." "I'm not authorized to." "Please." The representative placed her on hold. Jonah sat beside Mara. Neither of them mentioned the warnings they had seen. Ruth, the property manager, began calling repeatedly. They ignored her. The front door was not locked. They could have left at any moment. but leaving had apparently never helped before. The support representative returned. "I can send the recording to your account." Mara received the file. It was 4 minutes long. The recording began with hold music. Then a man spoke. Jonah. His voice sounded younger, but there was no mistaking it. "We found the photographs again," the recorded Jonah said. A representative asked him to confirm the address. Mara listened to her own voice in the background. She was crying. The recorded Jonah continued. "We don't remember booking this place. You said the same thing happened before." The representative confirmed that they had stayed there in 2018. Recorded Mara moved closer to the phone. "Listen to me," she said. "We are leaving now. When we call next time, do not tell us we've been here before." Present-day Mara stopped breathing. On the recording, the representative asked why. "Because remembering makes it start sooner." A noise sounded in the background. A camera shutter. Recorded Jonah swore. Recorded Mara whispered. It added another one. Then came several seconds of movement as they hurried from the house. Before the call ended, recorded Mara returned to the phone. Her final words were calm. "Please write this down. The photographs aren't showing our past stays."
The representative asked what they were showing. "Our next ones."
The recording ended. Mara and Jonah remained on the floor. For a few seconds, both experienced the same relief. They finally understood. They had been here before. The house affected their memory. The listing preserved evidence that their minds could not. It was horrifying, but it was an explanation. Then Jonah noticed the date of the recording. It was not from 2024. It was dated 3 months from now. Mara opened the listing. A third recent guest photograph had appeared. It showed the two of them sitting on the floor, listening to the recording. Behind them, the open front door revealed autumn leaves covering the porch. Outside the real house, it was spring.
Beneath the photograph was a new booking confirmation. October 14th, 2 returning guests. This time, the reservation had not been made from either of their accounts. It had been made by Ruth. In the special requests box, she had written one sentence. "They are beginning to remember between visits." The checkout photograph appeared 17 hours before checkout. 4 friends had rented the house. Only 3 were leaving it. Theo discovered the image while searching the listing for instructions about the fireplace. He, Priya, Wes, and Lena had arrived that afternoon carrying enough food for a weekend and arguing about who had forgotten the speaker charger. The house stood at the edge of a lake. It was modern, bright, and almost aggressively clean. Large windows faced the water. The listing emphasized privacy, automated entry, and zero host interaction. Nothing about it felt threatening. Then Theo found the new photograph. It showed the front driveway the following morning. 3 people were walking toward Wes's car with their bags. The image was slightly blurred, as though captured through rain. Theo recognized his gray coat, Priya's yellow backpack. Wes's car. There was no 4th person. He called the others into the kitchen. Wes studied the image. Previous guests. "That's your license plate," Theo said. Wes zoomed in. The plate was partially obscured by mud, but the final 3 characters were visible. They matched. Priya pointed to the front door. A small dent marked the white frame. She had created it 20 minutes earlier when the wind tore the door from her hand.
The photograph had been taken after they arrived. Lena tried to laugh. "So, we're leaving early?" "3 of us are," Theo said. "Don't say it like that." "Like what?" "Like the house is going to eat someone." Wes examined the listing history.
The photograph had been uploaded by the host and labeled "Simple self-checkout before 10 a.m." He messaged the automated host account. "When was the new checkout photo taken?" The reply came instantly. "Tomorrow." No one spoke. A second automated message followed. "Please ensure all registered guests have departed before the photograph is taken." Priya opened the reservation. "Registered guests," she said. The booking listed 3. Wes grabbed the phone. "I entered 4. "You probably didn't." "I paid the extra person fee." His receipt confirmed it. 4 guests. The active reservations still showed 3. "That's the glitch," Lena said quickly. "The image probably belongs to another version of the listing. The guest count changed and the app mixed something up." It was the first reasonable explanation they had heard. For almost 15 minutes, everyone accepted it. Then Priya asked, "Which one of us is missing from the picture?" The 3 figures were photographed from behind. Theo's coat and Priya's backpack were obvious. The third person wore a dark hooded sweatshirt owned by both Wes and Lena. "I think it's me," Wes said. Lena shook her head. "That's my bag. You brought the green one." "No, I didn't." Her bag was beside the couch. It was green. Lena stared at it. "I thought mine was black." Theo enlarged the image again. "The third person is Wes." "So I'm missing?" Lena asked. Theo hesitated. On his phone, the answer was obvious. Lena was absent. Priya took the phone. "No, Theo's missing." "What?" She turned the screen toward them. The gray coat had disappeared. The 3 figures now carried Priya's yellow backpack, Lena's green bag, and Wes's red suitcase. Theo took the phone back. The gray coat returned. Lena vanished. They passed the device around. Each person saw a different photograph. Theo saw everyone except Lena. Priya saw everyone except Theo. Wes saw everyone except Priya. Lena saw everyone except Wes. They placed the phone on the kitchen counter. From a distance, the image contained 4 figures. Whenever one of them stepped closer, one figure disappeared. Wes began screen recording. During playback, the photograph changed every few seconds. One person vanished, then another. Bags moved between hands. Jackets changed owners. The driveway remained identical. The front door remained open. The dent in the frame remained visible. 3 people always left. "It's tracking our faces," Wes said. "The front camera can see who's holding the phone." "Why would an app do that?" Priya asked. "I don't know, some kind of personalized image test." "Personalized to show us disappearing?" "I said I don't know." Lena took out a strip of tape and covered the phone's front camera. The image still changed for each viewer. Wes lost interest in proving a technical explanation. They agreed to leave immediately. That was the safest decision available. They would stay together, drive into town, and report the listing from somewhere public. They packed without separating. Theo counted everyone repeatedly. 4 in the kitchen, 4 at the front door, 4 carrying luggage outside. Wes unlocked the car. The listing updated. A new photograph showed the living room they had just left. 4 half-finished drinks stood on the coffee table.
Only 3 impressions remained on the couch cushions. They ignored it. Lena tied a charging cable around all 4 of their wrists. "This is ridiculous," Wes said. "Then it won't hurt." They formed a line and walked toward the car. Theo first, Priya behind him, Wes, Lena last. Halfway down the driveway, the cable tightened. Lena had stopped. She was looking at the upstairs window. "There's someone in the bedroom." No one else saw a person. Theo pulled her forward. They reached the car together. 4 doors opened. 4 people climbed inside. The cable remained tied around 4 wrists. Wes started the engine. For the first mile, no one spoke. Then Priya began laughing. It spread to Theo, then Lena. Even Wes smiled. Nothing had happened. The house had created frightening images, but images could not force reality to follow them. They had made the correct decision. They had left together. At the first gas station, Wes parked beneath the bright canopy lights. The 4 of them got out. Theo untied the cable. It contained only 3 loops. He counted again. Himself, Priya, Wes, Lena. 4. But the cable had 3 wrist-sized loops and 2 cut ends. There was no place where a 4th loop could have been. Lena looked toward the car. "Where's my bag?" Her green bag was not in the back seat. Priya frowned. "You didn't bring one." "Yes, I did." "You borrowed my clothes." "No, I didn't." The disagreement felt small. Then it spread. Wes remembered meeting Lena in college. Priya insisted they had met her through Theo. Theo remembered Lena introducing all 3 of them. Lena claimed she had known Priya since childhood. They opened their phones. Their group chat contained 4 accounts. On Theo's screen, Lena's messages had no profile image. On Priya's screen, Theo's account was labeled Unknown User. On Wes's screen, Priya had never joined the chat. On Lena's screen, every message from Wes had been deleted. They stood beneath the gas station lights, arguing over memories that had been certain minutes earlier. Theo opened the rental listing. The checkout photograph had been uploaded. It showed 3 people walking toward the car. The photograph was no longer blurred. On Theo's screen, Priya, Wes, and Lena were visible. He was missing. "That's not what it showed before," he said. Priya looked over his shoulder. "What are you talking about? Who do you see?" 3 people. "Which 3? Priya pointed. "Me, Wes, and—" She stopped. The 3rd figure had no face. It wore Theo's coat and carried Lena's bag. Wes saw Priya, Theo, and a stranger. Lena saw Wes, Theo, and herself. They could no longer agree on who had checked out. They drove to the nearest police station. According to the incident report, 3 distressed people entered the lobby shortly after midnight. Each claimed that a 4th friend was present. The desk officer saw only 3. Security footage also showed 3. The statements were preserved because of one unusual detail. Each person described a different missing friend. Priya reported a man named Theo. Wes reported a woman named Priya. Lena reported a man named Wes. Police searched the rental and found it empty. 4 drinks stood on the coffee table. 4 bags were lined up inside the front entrance. 4 sets of fingerprints were recovered. The rental platform provided the original reservation. It had been booked for 3 guests. No payment for a 4th person existed. The case was closed without charges. That should have been the end. 6 months later, the platform's legal department received a request for the photograph's original file. Their technicians extracted information not displayed on the public listing. The image had no camera model, no device identifier.
No photographer. But it did contain location data. The camera had been positioned halfway down the driveway, exactly where the fourth guest would have been standing if they had stopped walking while the other three continued toward the car. There was also an audio track hidden inside the file. Photographs are not supposed to contain audio. The recording lasted 8 seconds. First came the sound of 4 people walking over gravel. Then the charging cable tightened. A woman said there was someone in the upstairs window. 3 people told her to keep moving. The 4th voice said nothing. It remained in the driveway as the others walked away. At the end of the recording, someone picked up the camera. Since that night, the listing has continued to update. New guests appear in the rooms. New luggage appears beside the door. New checkout photographs are uploaded every morning. They are always taken from the driveway. And every one of them shows the same thing. 3 people leaving. No matter how many checked in.